Hi everyone, my name is Nimo. We just finished our youth conference in Patmaro, Oloshaiki, and we are grateful to God for the time that we had there. We had our highs and lows, but everything went well, and we thank God for everything that we were able to achieve. One of our key highlights is when I talked to a pastor, and he shared some of the things that happen in the Maasai. And I like having these kind of conversations because they help me understand what I am dealing with within the community. When we had the conversation, he shared and said that in the Maasai community, because they are polygamous, the child that was loved most by the father was the one who was told to go and take care of the cattle, because the cattle and the goats is what is so dear to the father. And the one who probably was not from that family, because there are instances where for them, in their age set, they are allowed to sleep with the wives of the people who they got circumcised with at that time. And that is the child who was sent to school. So the downside of this is that sometimes the love and how we show love might not really benefit us in the long run, because the ones who have gone to school and received an education, they have become enlightened, they have gone to church, and now their lives have changed, and they're the ones who are doing well in the community. And witchcraft is also something that happens around that area. And he showed me just below the mountains where the witches, they meet and do their stuff and all that. But the pastors in the area are really trying to bring the men to the church, because what we realize that the men who come to the church, they are almost the same age group with the pastor. But the older men rarely come to church. You'll find only a few or a handful that come to church. So evangelism and discipleship is what is the core that is driving the Christianity in that area, and what the pastors are working on. Coming to the youth, we had fun, we learned, and they showed us their ways and why they do some of the things, and we got to understand that. But for me, the highlight is when we talked about salvation, when we talked about discipleship, when we talked about baptism and all that, and their journey, and Christianity and technology, is when we realized that they still had questions that normally would think it's a no-brainer. It's something that is just out in the open. But they asked, when I get born again, is that it? Or when I sin, do I fall, my salvation is wiped off? Can I read the Bible for myself? Can I pray for myself? Or does the pastor have to pray for me for God to hear me? When I call on Jesus, will he hear me? And the highlight again for us, which was a big one, was the souls that came to God. Having people just surrender their lives to God after we have shared, and seeing the light bulb moments, especially after we have shared, is a great moment for us. And one of my exciting really moment was when my daughter shared about baptism. She recently had her baptism, and she shared because it was something close to her heart, and she explained why they needed to take the next step of getting baptized. Their walk with God really now cemented and really sealed after having their baptism done. For to die and then gain back in Christ is what we really are living for. It rained, and at some point we had to leave the cars across the river, because in these areas that we go to, sometimes we have to cross rivers. They're seasonal rivers, so sometimes they are dry. But in this season, we went when it was rainy. We thank God that we didn't get stuck, and it was a good bonding time, especially for the team. And they were like, we wish we would do this much more, but for that moment, the opportunity came along. The storytelling, walking along each other, helping carry the stuff that we needed to get to the church for training. It was a good moment. We thank God that the teens who came, They came in their droves. On day 1, we had a good number. On day 2 and 3, the numbers reduced because of the weather. And on the last day, we really had good numbers, around 125. We thank God for everything that He has done for us. The lives are changed. The impact is happening. The transformation is happening. We keep going and doing what God has called us to do, and we are able to do this because of you. God bless you.